live, whatever you want. So I totally was thinking like, what would be a cool opener to do, and I already fucked that one up, so forget about it. Anyways, guys, so you've heard me ranting and raving already quite a bit about the hypocrisy of the lawsuits against Glock. I've had some pretty good arguments, had some pretty good comments. Jesse Roth, definitely appreciate the comments on the short earlier. Enjoy conversing about things that aren't YouTube drama related. Good stuff, good times. Shout out to Sunny Money, Sunny 2A, great guy, huge supporter of the channel. Lots of other people. I'm not going to list them because nobody watches the live chat, so they catch the replay. So hey, but so anyways, my rant and my rave. Lawsuit against Glock because somebody out on the streets illegally modifying pistols. Glock's liable because apparently they make these pistols too easy for people to add your Bleaky or Swizzy or modifications and sear, auto sear is what it's technically called or whatever. So since New Jersey and Minnesota's AGs, they decide, oh, you know what, we'll sue Glock. Not the criminals manufacturing these illegal parts, not the criminals with guns with these parts. We'll go after the people who manufactured it because of their design. So, that's been kind of a soft spot for me lately. It just irritates the fuck out of me. But, and as I specified in the clip earlier, you've got people who are trying to sue McDonald's because their kids are obese because they feed their kids McDonald's. How is that even possible? I mean, that is just the most whacked stuff I can possibly think of. How pathetic. You're a parent. You're accountable for what your children do. Your job as a parent is to ensure the life and quality of your child, and a sustainable, happy, childhood that they can grow up, be healthy. I mean, my kids, a lot of people think, well, my kids, put it this way, they don't eat McDonald's maybe 3 times a year, tops. And usually that's maybe we're on vacation or some junk, driving some distance or whatever to get something to eat or stuck in an airport. But as far as fast food goes, no. My kids, we don't mess around with that. And they hate it because all their friends get to go get Happy Meals and all that stuff. And I was like, well, look, guys, by the time you hit high school, most of your friends are going to probably be overweight, obese, or be diabetic or pre-diabetic. You'll definitely thank me later in life for being as strict as I am about all that crap. It's the discipline aspect. I mean, my kids, you train them, they'll eat what they grow up and train to eat. And so vegetables, for instance, and this is a funny one. I really enjoy this one. Let's see here. So my wife's she's a vegetarian. She's not going to be one of the in-your-face animal rights activist types like that. I hunt and fish. She's got no problems with me doing that stuff. But what was it? She was going to make the kids sloppy joes or barbecues or whatever you call them, whatever region you're from or whatever. And we didn't have ground beef for the kids. And so she had these soy crumbles or whatever and dumped them in the mix or whatnot. And our kids used to actually bitch about what regular sloppy joes taste like or do that. I'm thinking, man, it's sloppy joe. Those are delicious, right? But anyways, she gives them the one with these soy crumbles in it or whatever. And all of them were like, that's the best. What kind of hamburger? Blah, blah, blah. We didn't tell them the truth. I mean, the fact our kids are eating things that they think they're good, why ruin it with telling them the truth on that one? I mean, it's kind of a Santa Claus situation. But it's we were in Florida over the summer, and my kids, there was this place they had breaded gator, on a stick, hot dog style, right? And I bought 3 for my kids, didn't tell any of them what it was, waited until they were done eating it, and I was like, so what do you guys think about eating alligator? And all 3 of them are like, what do you mean? I'm like, you guys just ate alligator, deep fried, battered, and all that good stuff. And they all kind of look at each other. Well, not as gross or weird to try new things out, is it? And of course, my younger stepson, it took him 3 months to finally I did eat alligator because he thought I was pranking him. And I love to prank my kids, man. That's one of the best parts about being a parent. But it's things like that. Back to the whole obesity America thing. Um, same thing with this Glock issue. It'd be the same thing, and this is something that I actually was discussing with Jesse Roth in the comment section. Is that where does the distiller or manufacturer come into any type of fault, or what circumstances, because it is a pretty broad thing. But I mean, one example, for instance, somebody goes to the liquor store, they buy alcohol, they go home, drink it, they get in their car, they get into a car wreck, and get a DUI, do jail time. When they get out, try to sue Seagrams for making whiskey, and that it's legal to have. There's restrictions and things on it. Just alcohol, tobacco, firearms. Would be the best convenience store ever if that were a thing. But I mean, alcohol is regulated, taxed, has certain proofs. Things like that. Just like firearms, and a lot of things with firearms you can buy until you just can't use them, or you can buy them illegally. And you still shouldn't use them. And those switches are cool, I'm not going to lie. But to sue Glock for people making auto sears, to sue Seagrams because you got drunken behind the wheel, or to sue McDonald's because your kids are fat because you keep feeding them. I mean, what is like going on with the United States, man? Like, what happened to our people? It's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know, is it laziness, or did COVID, make everybody forget that they should be accountable for their own actions and they're responsible? I don't know, man. It just blows my mind. But so I mean, there's that issue right there with this lawsuit that drives me nuts. Just unconstitutional as hell. I mean, it's just total infringement. It's ruining good relationships with law enforcement, because Glock has the blue program where they actually hook cops up, and they refurbish or renew service pistols and things like that. I mean, they're huge contributor to our law enforcement agencies across the United States. And they've been the best too. I mean, I couldn't tell you a time where I remember a cop not having any Glock 17 or whatever. I mean, maybe back in the 80s, a few highway patrolmen still had 38 specials and, Smith & Wesson or 357 mags and all that good stuff. But, you think about it, there's just like so many more things aside from just suing them to change their design on their gun or whatnot. Well, that design's what gave them their identity. I mean, Gaston Glock made a bet with a bunch of people saying that he could make a firearm that could do X, Y, Z and have a safety system and all this stuff, right? I mean, the whole thing started as a bet. Biggest firearm manufacturer as far as pistols go. And so you look at the history, stuff like that with Glock, there was never any intention for Glock's guns to be doing nefarious things. That's what people on the street are doing, not Glock. So, the lawsuit's bogus. I hope they throw it out. I hope a judge just looks right at these guys or whomever and, think you guys are the two dumbest AGs I've ever talked to, and so are the other 12 ones you're following you guys around. But, I mean, it's just, I don't know, no accountability. It's just, it's like getting participation trophies. It's like, it's just people want everything, but they don't want to do the work, or they want to blame somebody and they have to. And so let's see, we want to make sure that we can get people riled up, get a mob mentality, and, we'll do something about these, but Glock's got to be the one that does it. But here's the other kicker. Okay, if you know anything about firearms, if you know anything about doing any type of mill work, or how to, work with metals, CNC machining, 3D printing now even, heck, you could make the design of your Glock different, and I guarantee it, within 5 years maximum, somebody would already figure out a way to bypass that and put a different type of auto sear in it. I mean, people aren't as dumb as like a lot of these politicians think. They just really don't look at the big picture. And if you're going to have to do it to one gun company, you'd have to do it to the rest of them, which complete utter bullshit. But I mean, those are kind of my arguing points on that. Pretty ridiculous for the most part. I don't. As far as drones go, man, I don't know. I saw on Sunny Money's channel he was checking out drones flying over New York. Now, I've been asked what is my opinion as to what these things are all about, and in this case, I was thinking about it. I made the funny parody things where I was shooting drones down or whatever. It's BS, but like when the government is saying do not shoot these things flying around or whatever. I mean, you live out here in the rural area, nobody's going to know except, of course, whoever's manning the drone flying it, whatnot. But if you're not supposed to shoot them, I would think they would be from the United States just for that very reason. Because if it was any other country like Iran or whatever, a lot of people were, making theories of, they would have shot it down themselves, quite some time before anybody else even knew. I mean, that type of thing would create so much panic if those were actually Iranian drones. I mean, and it's like the points I discussed prior to this. You have so many aircraft carriers, the United States Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Marines have an Air Force, Army has one. I mean, there's no way anybody would get close enough to be able to man those types of drones without us doing something about it long before. So it's just, I don't know, I weed that one out. Extraterrestrials, sure, very possible, it's a very good possibility, but I don't know, some people are saying they're dropping, what do you call them, those streams behind or whatever, lacing the sky with shit or seeding clouds or something like that. But I don't know, that's some of the bizarre stuff going on. I haven't had any other updates for the most part, but let's see. As far as gun content goes, I mean, with the weather being as cold as it is, range time is going to be limited. But I don't know, Gunfather series, any suggestions from people who you'd like left? I've posted them, a few of them, maybe about a week ago. The ones that are all set and ready to go, I'm just debating on which one to put out first. Because, the Gunfather, those shorts that I put out and then the long form of all added together, I really enjoy those because, I mean, it's just complete history. And, we really don't, I don't know, a lot of people, I guess I never thought of this, but really don't know all the facts and everything like that about some of these gun designers. I mean, Smith & Wesson, for instance, let's see, I believe Smith, back in the 1800s, he was trying to invent some sort of harpoon, but it had an exploding tip on it, and it was for whalers to use it. Made a lot of money doing it. If you look at Sam Colt, telegraph lines, he came up with the idea to have the rubbery whatever material sleeves cover all the telegraph lines or whatnot. I mean, he attempted to go across ocean to ocean, but he failed on that one. You've got Oliver Winchester. He sold clothes. He owned a bunch of textiles and stuff like that and got into guns. Of course, John Browning, that's just in his DNA. Browning, my home state, Utah, Browning, being from there, he's just like totally like hero or whatnot. If you ever go to Utah, I mean, Browning is just a huge piece of that state's culture, which has always been cool. So, I mean, like, you have these people. Then you go across the pond over to Europe, and, I'm doing Walther, I'm doing HK, I've done a couple, I've done Beretta, I've even done FN, but of course I always tie that one more into Browning because the high power, for instance, is, his last design before he passed away. But you look at all these guys, well, what's his name? Walther and HK. I mean, Heckler and Koch, all three of the original owners were either in the National Socialist Workers' Party or Nazis. Some of them were financiers for Hitler's SS during the Reich. How they got away with, how they got pardoned from that crap blows my mind. But, I mean, them and Walther both had concentration camp slave labor manufacturing firearms. I mean, I'm sure they weren't the ones direct, but I'm pretty sure they were told, you guys need to go do this. And so, you know, always this kind of dark history just lingering around or whatever. You know, you go to, of course, Sam Colt again. He was selling arms to the Confederates. And then as soon as the Civil War kicked off, people attempted to call him some sort of traitor. And so he even booked it up to Connecticut, was commissioned as a lieutenant colonel in the United States Union Army or whatnot, or the North, as some like to call it, to try to just squash that whole rumor or whatnot. And then not even 6 months later, steps down, resigns from his position as an officer. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, total publicity, dude. But, you know, Sam Colt, I mean, God made men. Sam Colt made men equal. John Browning made men be able to beat other made men. I mean, it's just a lot of interesting crap and just hard to believe. But that's my jibber jabber off the wall ADD rant for you guys tonight. Everybody stay warm. Thanks for watching. People that watch the replay, thank you much. Comment down below, suggestions, content, things like that you guys would like to hear. And of course, if you guys want to use anything from my YouTube content, more than welcome to use it for free. We're not going to charge any money ever. If you want to just use clips of me doing dumb shit and you want to talk shit on me, that's cool. Go ahead. I really don't care, but push the gun safety, push the history, and, you know, stuff like that. People really need to be more aware of it. You guys take care now. Bye.